Hi there everyone, my name is Puppy Blitzer and welcome back to a news source where we claim to be somewhat balanced but actually have a ton of liberal bias. Today we bring you some breaking news that really isn't that big of a deal, but you know, it kind of fits our agenda, so we're just gonna kind of roll with it here. So this local bakery has been selling pro-Donald Trump cakes. Controversy has since erupted in the small neighborhood where the bakery is located. Mostly because the cakes are being sold primarily in the color white, not primarily in the color black. Now, it's important to remember that the color white is oftentimes associated with the KKK, the racist group that is fully supporting Donald Trump and that Donald Trump himself completely endorses. It's fair to say that this bakery is most likely owned by members of the very racist alt-right, and they are probably part of the KKK, as well as being full-out Trump supporters. This is scary, this is wrong, this is flat-out terrifying. What's up, everybody? It's Hunter Avallone here, and today we gotta have a little chat, a little chit-chat. So I have here, this is my drawer of junk. It's where I keep a lot of the junk in my life, and the thing I want to talk about today is here. It's right here. It's the media! So at this point, you all know that I really love to hate everything. And I think one of my favorite things to hate on is the biased liberal media. I mean, I'm talking Huffington Post, BuzzFeed, the Yuck Turds, even CNN kind of falls in that category sometimes, along with a lot of other national news organizations. I mean, heck, I even hate Fox News, and they're completely conservative. They're just so biased that I freaking hate them. The problem is, pretty much every source is biased in its own way. It's kind of like I don't even know who to trust anymore. But anyway, today specifically, I'm going to be calling out just a few hypocrisies I've seen within the liberal media. Just a heads up, this video is going to be a little bit more on the controversial side. So the first hypocrisy I see with the liberal media is when it comes to race-related issues. Now, this isn't even a problem specific to just the liberal media. I guess this is kind of a problem that the entire news has. Now, you're probably all aware of this, but they usually only report in a way that strictly fits their own narrative. I think a good example of this is the mass amount of media coverage every time a black person is shot by the police. The constant coverage makes the problem seem like something much bigger than it really is, and of course, they make everything into a race problem. I mean, the guy could have been charging the police officer, and the police officer could pull out his gun and fire in order to protect himself, and then down comes the media, making everything a race issue before they know any of the details at all. Breaking news, everybody. Someone was shot by police, and what's that? What? Oh, they were a person of color. Okay. They were a person of color, they were black, it was definitely a racist problem, no ifs, ands, buts, or anything else about it. So whenever a black person is shot, the media just rushes to cover it. And don't get me wrong, that's not really a problem. The problem is that the media completely ignores police violence against white people. And I also want to clarify, when I say police violence, I mean I'm completely pro-police and things like that. Many of these police shootings are indeed justified. The problem, however, is that the media completely reports 100% all the time when a black person is killed, but when the same thing happens to white people, the media is completely silent. For example, the same day that Keith Scott, the black man, was shot, 5 white people were killed by police as well. I mean, we all heard about Keith Scott. Google it and tons of things come up. I mean, we've got CNN, we've got New York Times, The Guardian, Washington Post, but now search even one of the white people shot the exact same day, like this guy, Sandy Duke. Nothing comes up. I mean, come on, we've got this little local place popping up. We got frickin' Smoky Barn. Like, what the heck is that even? All right, so a white person was shot by police. Where's the frickin' media? Now, this guy, Sandy Duke, last I heard, he wasn't really a good guy, and his death may have very well been justified. But that's not my point. My point is that the media will proudly cover every moment that a black person is shot, but when 5 white people are shot the exact same day, the media completely ignores it. That is blaring hypocrisy. So the media loves to talk race and make everything about race, and they really only love to cover things, you know, when black people are getting shot. So maybe the media just really cares about black people. Wrong. Truthfully, the media only cares about black people when it fits their own agenda. They hardly ever report of the mass amount of black lives being lost in places like Chicago. According to the Chicago Police Department, most victims are around the age of 17 through 25, and 75.3% of victims were black. That is seriously tragic. Oh, but where's the media to report all this? That's right, they don't really care. In fact, according to the Media Research Center, Nets covered the Mike Brown death 23 times more than the 130 killed in Chicago. The media is so hypocritical, ignoring anything that doesn't fit their narrative, and at this point, it's like we kind of already know it's a scam, but yet we continue to watch it and believe it. Another hypocrisy in the liberal media comes from something very specific. Now, what I'm about to say is going to be kind of controversial, so I ask that you please listen to my entire point before you freak out and act like little babies. I know this is going to be serious, so I'm going to be trying to treat it a little more serious. More liberal media hypocrisy is exposed with their weird obsession and loyalty to the religion of Islam. Something I find to be very annoying is that anytime there's a terror attack done in the name of Islam, we get bombarded by news yelling at us that not all Muslims are terrorists, instead of actually covering the victims of the violence. Now listen, I'm going to say right here 100% very clearly, I do not think that all Muslims are terrorists. I don't think all Muslims are bad, but some terror attacks are indeed done in the name of Islam. I myself am very against the religion of Islam. I'm not against Muslims. I'm against the ideology of Islam. I'm not against the followers of that ideology. It's like saying I'm against socialism. Doesn't mean that I'm against socialists. Just if I say I'm against socialism doesn't mean I hate you if you are a socialist. So I am against the ideology of Islam, but I am not against Muslims as people and as human beings. I want to make that very clear before I go on. Now the funny thing is, the liberal media is pro-Islam. It's like, I don't even understand. It boggles my mind. Let me show you what I mean. So, let me get this little globe right here. Alright, let's see here. Now, I'm gonna show you a place on the map. It's a local place. It's right here. It's a little village. It's very commonly known. It's right here. It's commonly known as, Retardville. Now, once we're inside Retardville, we are greeted by this place called Huffington Post. So they're pro-LGBT, they're pro-feminist, and they're pro-Islam. I'm sorry, what? I just don't understand how on earth you can claim to be for trans rights, then also be supporting the very ideology that teaches and actually does kill transgender people. Huffington Post is whining about not teaching about Islam in schools, and whining about anti-Muslim rhetoric. Huffington Post, this pro-LGBT news source, also supports the very thing motivating other countries to throw gay people off of rooftops. Huffington Post, the pro-feminist news source, also supports the very thing motivating these other countries to beat women for standing too close to a man. Huffington Post, they support the ideology that says it's okay to stone adulterers. I know that I really need to calm down, but can someone please explain how on earth this makes sense? Yeah, we're pro-feminist, pro-LGBT, and we're also pro, Islam, that thing that wants to kill gay people and women. It's better to just not ask how it makes sense. Just try not to be a bigot, okay? I just don't understand how a news source like Huffington Post can claim to be for certain people's rights, then also be supporting an ideology that wants to take away those same people's rights. Yeah, that's definitely a brain aneurysm I'm feeling. CNN is a little bit better, but I mean, even they have their moments. Like recently, this moron on CNN suggested that we all wear the head covering to show our support for Muslims.
It's an interesting story. Maybe there'll be a movement where people wear the headscarf in solidarity. Even if you're not Muslim, maybe it's the way people shave their head, sometimes in solidarity with somebody who's going through something. Maybe you'll see a wave of the opposite happen.
Yeah, no thanks, because if I did that, I'd probably be accused of cultural appropriation by the same news source that told me it'd be a good idea to put the head covering on in the first place. Why is the mainstream media so loyal and so obsessed with the religion of Islam when Islam openly advocates for things that go against what the mainstream media claims to be for? And for sure, my best little pal, BuzzFeed, is definitely the worst in this. I mean, come on, it's BuzzFeed. They're practically the worst at everything. BuzzFeed is another pro-LGBT, pro-feminist news source, located in our little village of Retardville. That is according to the Great Globe here. But yeah, they recently attacked a Christian couple. This Christian couple, I believe, is like part of HGTV or something. And this Christian couple attended a church, and at that church service, there was a sermon taught on how being gay is a sin or how it's wrong or something like that. And BuzzFeed made a hit piece on this couple and went after them. But at the same time, BuzzFeed also supports Islam, the ideology that when in charge murders gay people. Alright, BuzzFeed, let me get this straight, and I don't mean to trigger you, but you're totally fine going after a Christian couple for simply attending church and hearing a sermon about how being gay is wrong, not hurting anyone at all. And you're also fine supporting an ideology that calls for the death of gay people. That doesn't make any freaking sense. I managed to scratch the surface of just a few hypocrisies that I've noticed. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give this video a like, comment below, and subscribe to my channel. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.